Hello, everyone. My name is Tim Connors. I'm happy to be your presenter today. Been in the tech industry now for about 15 years and joined Smart as a product support analyst just over 1 year ago. Support products like Smart Notebook and Lumio, as well as a few others. Today, I'm going to share some of the latest features, security enhancements, and kind of the upgrading process to get you to Smart Notebook 23. So here's what, just to look at what we'll be covering today. First, we're just going to do a quick introduction to Notebook 23 with a brief overview, just to set the foundation for the presentation. And then we're going to look at some of the security updates. Those are a top priority in Notebook 23. We'll outline the latest enhancements there. And we'll look at some of the features. So we're going to compare Notebook 23 and Notebook 23 or 22. So we can understand the differences between these two versions. We'll explore the new features of Notebook 23 and demonstrate how you can switch between the two versions in the Windows version of Notebook 23. And we'll also look at the upgrading installation process. So we'll guide you through the upgrading process and installation methods. And then we're going to touch on the Smart Customer Feedback Program. So we'll show you how you can contribute to our ongoing development through our feedback program. And then we'll have a quick Q&A session just to wrap things up. And we'll open the floor to any questions you may have about today's topics or anything else related to Smart Notebook. And we'll just get going here. So to start, we're going to talk about some of the security enhancements. So security is a top priority in Notebook 23, and we've made some significant enhancements to protect your data. We've upgraded our TLS protocol, so that's our transport layer security. For those unfamiliar with TLS, or as I said, transport layer security protocols, it's a cryptographic protocol designed to provide secure communication across a computer network. So it's an essential part of modern internet security. The newest TLS versions in Notebook 23 offer a more secure and modern cryptographic protocol. So in layperson's terms, it's a more robust safeguard, ensuring that the data you send and receive through our software is encrypted and secure from potential threats. So let's explore what that means a little deeper here. So by upgrading to the newer versions of TLS, it's vital for your security within Smart Notebooks. So as technology evolves, so do the challenges and risks associated with data security. So we moved away from some of the older versions like TLS 1.0, 1.1, and what that's done is it provides us more robust encryption algorithms. So newer TLS versions introduce advanced ciphers and key exchange methods, which strengthen the encryption process and protect against attacks. The newer versions have support for modern hash functions. This ensures better data integrity verification, which confirms that the transmitted information has not been tampered with. And it addresses some known vulnerabilities. So earlier versions had specific weaknesses that malicious agents could exploit. These newer versions have been designed to mitigate these vulnerabilities, which offer a more secure communication channel. So by embracing the latest in the TLS technology, we align with the latest industry standards. We ensure that communications within Notebook and our servers are secure, robust, and compliant with modern security requirements. So we do have a deadline that we would like people to upgrade to Smart Notebook 23 by. It's set for December 31st, 2023. So it's essential to update before this date to ensure alignment with the newest security protocols, including the newest version of TLS. If you don't upgrade, Notebook will still work for you, but if you have a Notebook Plus account and you try to sign in after that date and you haven't upgraded, you may get a message that says trial period has expired, even if you have an active Smart Note Plus subscription. You also may miss out on the latest enhancements that Smart Notebook 23 offers, including better security, 4K resolution support, and more stable application performance. So upgrading is critical in maintaining the software's integrity, security, and functionality. We strongly urge all users to take action before the deadline to ensure uninterrupted access to Smart Notebook Plus. Smart Notebook 23, it is optimized for compatibility across various platforms and devices, including 4K displays and the 16:9 aspect ratio standard. It's also Apple Silicon compatible, so that streamlines the installation process for Mac users. Lumio, our cloud-based learning platform, shares the same aspect ratio, the 16:9 aspect ratio, as Smart Notebook 23. So that provides a consistent visual experience. Say if you were exporting a notebook lesson into Lumio, you'll have that same 16:9 aspect ratio. And as I said, with Notebook 23 for Windows, we've elevated the visual experience and optimized it for 4K display. So whether you're maybe presenting an intricate diagram, high resolution images, engaging in multimedia content, viewers can enjoy being able to take full advantage of the latest 4K displays and screens. You can kind of imagine a classroom where students might be looking at some intricate scientific concept or maybe a detailed historical map. So now they can see all that in 4K. And the consistency of the 16:9 aspect ratio really further enhances the visual experience because that's the aspect ratio of most modern smart boards and displays. So when you install Smart Notebook 23 on a Windows system, Notebook 22 is automatically installed alongside with it. So you don't have to do anything special or anything. It will just be automatically installed with it. This approach kind of allows us to switch between the two versions. So an essential aspect of the dual installation is the ability to retain access to specific features that might not yet be in Notebook 23. So that includes, I know a big one is the extend page feature. There's also the dual page view functionalities. So the you can see here, the extend page feature really lets you extend the page down. A lot of people use this for math or something like that. Dual page allows you to put two screens side by side in the same window, but those features are not yet in Notebook 23, but you can always switch back to Notebook 22 to use those features. They may be integral to some users' workflows, and having access to both versions means they can continue to utilize them. Some of the benefits of this simultaneous installation approach, it allows you to, a gradual introduction to the new version without losing familiarity with Notebook 22. Users can maintain access to existing tools, maybe some of the preferred features in Notebook 22, and really just take some time to explore Notebook 23 while retaining the option to work in Notebook 22 as needed. So users can move at their own pace with both versions, ensuring access to the essential Notebook 22 features if they're using those, while we implement some of those and some of the new ones in Notebook 23 based on the feedback we get, our testing, and our market research. So switching between Notebook 23 and 22 in Windows is quite simple. When you first open Notebook, by default, it will launch Notebook 23. And if there was any reason you wanted to go back to Notebook 22, you would just have to go to the View menu at the top, open in Notebook 22, and that'll open your lesson up in Notebook 22. And the same kind of vice versa. So if you were in Notebook 22, you wanted to maybe present something in 4K or something like that, you can go to the same thing in Notebook 22. You go to the View menu, open in Notebook 23. So that two-way switching process ensures that you can move between the two versions effortlessly and take advantage of each version's unique features and functionalities. So whether you're exploring the new enhancements in Notebook 23 or utilizing those familiar features in Notebook 22, the switching process puts that control really in the hands of the user and allows them to work in whichever environment that they prefer. And of course, we're here to support you as you explore and make the most of both versions. You can always contact our support team, and we'll put a link to that at the end of the presentation of how to contact our support team if there's any confusion or you need to know how to do something in either of these versions. Really, we're still very much supporting both of them. So now we're going to take a look at some of the other notable changes in Notebook 23 for Windows. We're going to look at some of what's new, what's changed, how to navigate those transformations, and we'll also compare it with Notebook 22 to understand how we can leverage both versions. So let's begin on that journey. So one of the major changes, one of the first changes in Notebook 23 for Windows is the canvas size options. So as I said, Notebook 23 doesn't currently have the extend page option, which is in Notebook 22. It is replaced with new standardized sizes of canvases, including the 4:3 ratio, which is you can switch that. That might be familiar from Notebook 22. Notebook 23 also offers the 16:9 regular aspect ratio. So if you're presenting on a 4K display, this is probably going to be your default size here. And we also offer a 16:9 large video, or sorry, not video, canvas. So if you needed that extra space, you can see here all these pictures are the same size, same resolution, but you can see how much extra space you have to work in if you're using the 16:9 large canvas. These sizes were introduced to make files compatible across smart software products and enhance cross-product compatibility, especially when sharing lessons to something like Lumio or to your smartboard display with IQ. Change reflects the modern trends in display sizes, and it ensures a more consistent and proportionate display. Again, we do understand that some users may still need features like extend page or the dual page view. And both of these features, along with any others that were in Notebook 22, are still available in Notebook 22. And again, you can always revert back to 22 by going to the View menu and when you're in Notebook 23 and clicking the Open in Notebook 22 option. So yeah, some of these features are currently planned to make their way into future releases of Notebook. So near the end of this presentation, we're going to discuss how to make your voice heard on which features you'd like prioritized or things you might like to see in future releases. Your input really guides our development team, and we're really excited to kind of collaborate with an audience and create the best possible experience for Smart Notebook. So we've introduced some significant changes on how we interact with our content with Notebook 23. One of those changes is the support of Pressure Ink for supported smartboard displays. Pressure Ink just allows you to create and erase ink strokes with variable thickness based on the pressure applied. And this change was just made to utilize the capabilities of modern smartboard displays and that support the Pressure Ink and to provide a more realistic pen on paper feeling. Transparent background was a feature in SmartBook 22 and previous versions that enable you to see and draw on the desktop and windows behind the Smart Notebook software window. So we now have Smart Ink, which allows you to draw on almost any app. So we've deprecated the transparent background feature in Notebook 23. So that's been succeeded by Smart Ink, includes a lot of the same functionality and more. And we've made a lot of other various changes and enhancements to improve the experience. Some features have been deprecated, others been replaced with new functionality, and others have been refined. So you can see here on this table, this kind of highlights some of the other changes made in Notebook 23. Some of them are minor. There might be a few changes in there that you can still, again, find in Notebook 22, which is installed alongside Notebook 23. And for example, 3D models in Notebook 23, these have been replaced and are now represented by 2D placeholders. Table properties, concept maps, and text and shape have seen some significant adjustments, but are still, again, present in Notebook 22. And you can always find, if you're interested in kind of more details or you're not sure about which feature you might find in which version at the moment. You can find a detailed comparison of these changes and other information about Smart Notebook 23 on the Notebook 23 support site troubleshooting section. So we'll also be sure to provide a link in the chat to that at the end of the presentation. Smart Notebook 23, as I said before, is compatible with Mac OS Ventura and Apple Silicon with one exception. So Smart Notebook currently does not support using the Smart Document Camera Viewer natively on the Apple Silicon processor, so the M1 or M2 processor. So if you are running a Mac with Apple Silicon to access any features related to the Smart Document Camera Viewer, you have to open Smart Notebook 23 on the Mac using Rosetta. But aside from that, the update brings enhanced stability, keeping in line with our commitment to optimizing the user experience on Mac devices. And now we're going to just kind of give a quick rundown on where to find files and kind of a quick overview of how to update to Smart Notebook 23, or if you're starting a fresh install, where to find the proper files you might need to do that. And we'll look at, yes?
During this section, there was a question that came through the Q&A. Can you upgrade from Notebook 20 to Notebook 23 in one step? So when you get to those slides, please keep that question in mind.
Sure, yeah, we're going to cover that right now. So I'll go through that here. So we'll start with the system and requirements. So to kind of make sure you have a smooth installation, you'll want to make sure that your systems do support Smart Notebook 23. The supported Windows versions are Windows 11 and 10, and for Mac OS, Ventura, Monterey, and Big Sur are supported. So depending on your display resolution, different processor and RAM requirements might apply. So for standard displays, Windows users will need at least an Intel Core M3 processor and 4 gigabytes of RAM, while Mac users must have any computer supported by Big Sur or later with 4 gigabytes of RAM. And when displaying Notebook 23 on a 4K display, Windows users will need an Intel Core i3 processor, 8 gigabytes of RAM, and a discrete GPU. And Mac users will need a late 2013 Retina MacBook Pro or later and 8 gigabytes of RAM. So to kind of answer that question about updating from I think it was SmartBook 20 was the question, to Smart Notebook 23. Yeah, you can update if it's just a single user. There's a very easy way that I'm going to go over here to check for updates and have it automatically update. So we have the Smart Product Update tool. We call it the SPU. So that way you can both manually check for updates or enable automatic checks for convenience. So for manual updates on Windows, you would just navigate to your Start menu. You'll see a folder, Smart Technologies, and in there you'll find the Smart Product Update tool. On Mac, you open the Finder, browse to your Applications folder, and to the corresponding Smart Tools folder, and in there you'll find the Smart Product Update tool as well. So when you click that, you open it up, both will look similar, very similar to this window. You can just click check now. It'll go through your notebook versions, product drivers, Smart Ink, anything you already have installed there from a smart software and driver point of view. And if you are running, say, an older version like Smart Notebook 20, you're going to see that this update button here will be clickable. You can simply click that button and it'll begin the update process. So you can also set the frequency of automatic checks up to 60 days. You can see it's set to 30. That's regardless of your operating system. And once set, the SPU will notify you when updates are available, which really streamlines the process. But to do this method with the SPU, you do need, of course, an internet connection, and full administrator access would be needed.
I'll just chime in there if I could, Tim.
Yep.
Could you go back to that previous slide?
Sure.
I'll also point out to the audience that the little blue arrows on the left will expand the information about that software, so you can see what the current version currently installed is when you expand that information, if you need to.
Thank you. So the other way, if you're not using the SPU and you need it to actually download the files, those are very easy to get off our website. So it's a simple process. You can visit the Smart Notebook homepage directly. I mean, you can also simply just Google Smart Notebook, and it should be the first thing that comes up. On the homepage, you'll see this button here, download for free, and you can just click that button, and then it's going to take you to the next step. So that'll bring you to a little form here that we just asked you to fill out. You fill out the form, select your operating system, and that's usually Windows or Mac. And then you can just click the download button. You can download that executable file. For those looking for deployment download files or maybe a previous version, there is a link available on that same site. I think it might be cut off on my slide there, but it's just down below the button. And clicking on that will take you to the Smart Notebook Administrator download site, and you can find more tailored options there. And that's what this will be. So it allows you to select your version. Our latest version of Smart Notebook 23 is 23.1, which just includes a multitude of smaller bug fixes that were fixed from the original release of Smart Notebook 23. And so whether you're installing on a single computer, deploying across a network, we do provide options to meet all your needs, from the web installer to the MSI installer. We've considered different use cases and connectivity options. For IT administrators, we do offer specific tools to create customized packages or deploy across multiple computers efficiently. So on this page, when you're on this page near the bottom, you're also going to find links to the install and deployment guides for both Mac and Windows. So if you need more detail on how to use these tools or installers, you can find more information in those guides. They're quite robust and long, so I won't go over all the details here. Just to give you an idea, so the web installer up here, it downloads and installs the latest version of Smart Notebook from the internet. You'll need an internet connection, of course, to use it. And that option is more recommended if you are installing to just like a small deployment or a single computer. The USB installer downloads a complete installer package that you can save on a USB drive or other removable media, and you can use that option to install Smart Notebook on multiple computers without having to download the installer again, or if those computers don't have maybe an internet connection. MSI installer, of course, so that uses the Microsoft installer package, MSI, so that you can use that to deploy Smart Notebook using a software distribution system, such as Microsoft System Center Configuration Manager, or a lot of people are using Intune these days. So you will, of course, need an internet connection to download that option, but not to install it. This option is recommended if you are an IT administrator who wants to deploy Smart Notebook on multiple computers in the network. And then we have the Smart Install Manager here. That's really a tool that helps you create customized installation packages for Smart Notebook. So you can use that tool to modify the installation settings, such as the installation path, license key, components to install, and so on. So it's recommended if you're an IT administrator who really wants to create a customized installation package for Smart Notebook. And just quickly here, I want to talk about the Smart Technologies Customer Feed Program. So this is a platform we have where you can provide feedback and suggestions for improving our notebook software. We know Smart Notebook 23 was kind of a big change for people, so we're really trying to gather as much information as we can from our users to really find out what features are most important to them, what they want to see going forward. Maybe it's a new feature that hasn't been done yet, and you're interested in seeing that come. You can really help shape the path we're taking on development through this platform. So your feedback is really valuable to us, and it helps us really identify areas of improvement and make those necessary changes. and just understand our users' needs, preferences, and yeah, so your suggestions can help us develop new features that really better meet your needs. So to join the Smart Customer Feedback Program, you can visit the site, which is smarttech.uservoice.com, and you can sign in, or if you already have an account, or create a new account using your preferred authentication option. So your insights are very valuable, and we really do encourage you to participate in the customer feedback program. Once you're logged in, what you'll see is some of these thoughts and sorting options from other users. So you can select a product like Smart Notebook. There's not just Smart Notebook there. So if you had ideas on some of our other products, some of our hardware, you can also um, leave those there, or make your suggestions there. So you can sort those ideas, search for existing requests that resonate with you, and you can vote on those so they kind of get moved to the top. The more people that vote on them, to make them stand out to our team much more, to know that that's important to our audience. So your voice does matter in the customer feedback program. Again, we encourage you to submit your unique insights, vote on ideas that align with your needs. And you can see in the screenshot I have here, users really were submitting ideas about this extend page option after we removed it from Notebook 23. And you can see one of our product managers replying directly on that about the plans going forward to bring that feature back into a future release of Notebook 23. So you're really able to communicate directly with the product team through this feedback program. And it is a kind of a short presentation today, but I'm hoping it kind of helps you understand the changes with Notebook 23 and where we're kind of going with it. So just wanted to kind of open the floor here for any questions you might have about anything we talked about, if there's anything that needs further clarification.
All right, so we had a question earlier about the can you upgrade from Notebook 20 to 23 in one step? As Tim mentioned, the answer is yes. I don't see any other questions asked in the Q&A or chat window yet. Please feel free to type into those windows any questions that you have. We have plenty of time left in the scheduled time. So if Tim has not covered any specific content for Notebook 23 that you would like to know about, please ask. We're here for you. We're here to answer any questions you may have. Okay, I'm not seeing any questions come through at the moment. So while we wait, if anyone is typing questions, please continue to your next slides.
So yeah, I was just going to also give you this information. So if you have any questions or need any further assistance with Smart Notebook 23, or really any smart product, doesn't just have to be Notebook, you can contact our support team. You can call us toll free at 1-888-42-SMART, or you can visit our support page, and from there you can send our team an email. We're always happy to help you with any smart product that you might need any assistance with. And just to conclude the webinar here, so we did explore some of the enhanced features, security updates, compatibility with other various platforms, and the transition process from Notebook 22 or previous versions.
All right. Tim, we do have one question that came through.
Okay.
Lisa asks, will 3D objects that can be manipulated come back?
Well, that that is a good question. So right now, so I have actually had some conversations about this with our development team. What we found was that feature wasn't being utilized much from what we got for feedback. But of course, this is really where the customer feedback program comes into play. I would very highly suggest, if that's a feature you depend on or want to use or want to see continued, that you do join our feedback program and submit that idea. Or there may be other people who are submitting it as we speak, if other people are also missing that feature. Of course, for now, you can still switch back to Notebook 22. It's still very much supported in there. I I don't believe there's currently a plan to carry it forward because we didn't see that there was much engagement with that feature. But this is, of course, where, like I said, where we want that feedback. If it's something that we are maybe getting wrong, then please do let us know, and the development team can take that in consideration as we move forward.
I'll just add a little bit to that. Lisa, in the chat, you've mentioned that that's critical in Africa. If that's the case, when you go to the customer feedback program on smarttech.uservoice.com, anybody around the world can see and vote on contributions or requests that people have asked for. So if you've got a whole bunch of people that really, really need that feature, encourage them to log into the feedback program and vote on an item that you are asking for, or have them ask for their own items. Smart's product management team does review the user voice content, the requests from people many times, and they do prioritize those requests based on how many requests there are that are like it and how many votes there are on each request. We also have another question in the chat window. Debbie asks, what are considered Smart Notebook Plus features which you would not have access to if not updated to Notebook 23 by the end of the year?
So we do list all the differences between the free notebook. There's free notebook versions and Notebook Plus on our support website. There's a pretty extensive list. See if I can pull that. Well, really, I would visit the support website so you can kind of see what you're getting with us, the Smart Notebook Plus and Smart Notebook, just the free versions. So there's, I think, 10 to 15 maybe different features. So we will provide you that link with the to the sorry the support page. I was about to say the troubleshooting page, but the support page, and it does list kind of all the. There is a chart there to list all those different features. So I encourage you to check that out after this webinar concludes.
Yeah, just to be clear, at the end of this webinar, we've got about half a dozen links
Yeah.
that we'll share with you via the chat window.
Okay, so yeah, that is kind of the conclusion. Again, I just want to emphasize specifically the customer feedback program. With all these changes, I know there has been a lot of different opinions and things people want to see. So we really do want that feedback. It's really guiding us as we move forward. And again, to emphasize that the deadline for upgrading is December 31st. So if you're a Notebook Plus user, we really encourage you strongly to upgrade to the latest version. Right now, that's Notebook 23.1. I believe we have another update coming out before the end of the year, but as long as you're on Notebook 23 and with the dual Notebook 22, 23 current versions, then you are okay there. So yeah, do update if you are a Notebook Plus user. And that's really everything I have for you today. So again, thank you all for joining us today, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your days or afternoons, wherever you are.
Can you go to the next slide there, Tim?
Yeah, so these are some of the resources we have here. And of course, we'll also put these in the chat, and I'll maybe find.
I've just put those in the chat window.
Okay.
And Debbie, Debbie asks, how do you print the chat window with all the links you're providing? Debbie, I suggest that you simply copy and paste it into an application of your choosing. If you're on Microsoft Windows, maybe use OneNote, keep it in your notes file. If you're on an Apple Macintosh, I believe, there's some notes file documents there. You can copy it into your favorite word processor and hit print if you want. There's many different ways to do it, and they all vary depending upon the type of computer system and software you're using. I don't think Zoom itself has an option to print. but you can copy and paste from the chat window into an application of your choosing. All right, thank you everybody for joining us today. We'll keep the webinar running for just a few minutes so that the chat stays up, give you enough time to make note of those resources. If there are any further questions, we'll stick around for about 5 minutes, but we will be on mute, and we'll monitor the chat window. Thank you for your time. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you.